All right, listen, man. I'm pulling seniority on this show this week because I've had enough of the coach shenanigans, and that's what I call him, shenanigans. He says he's working. I know he's on the back nine. Producer man knows he's on the back nine. Everybody knows he's on the back nine. So I am pulling seniority today. Today, I am going to rename this show the Tommy C and Bro Show because Tommy has been pitch hitting more than Joe Pepitone for the last 6 months. What is that, my friend Tommy Carlucci?
What's happening, Mr. Russo? Thank you for having me on. And once again, our boy is for playing golf.
And then he tells us, I'm working, I'm doing deals, I'm doing this,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Tommy, listen, I got a pet peeve that is not on our agenda today, but I want to bring up off the top of the show because I am so sick of this. Okay. Before I do, let me remind everybody, man, you can be a part of this conversation through a super sticker or a donation. We will bring you right up on the screen. You could ask us whatever you like. You could have a question. You could have a comment. We love to make this interactive, guys. So please hop on and join the conversation. You know, Tommy, I got to tell you something. When I was writing these shows for the WWE, we always knew the biggest Raw of the year and the biggest show of the year was the Monday after WrestleMania. Now, here's why that was the biggest show of the year. We were guaranteed to have a huge audience. You are always guaranteed the Monday after WrestleMania to have a huge audience. And Tommy, what that meant for us was there was a lot of pressure because we knew we had to keep those people. We had to get them back the next week. So when we did that show after WrestleMania, it was balls to the wall because we were going to have a lot of people watching for the first time. We were going to have a lot of people watching that we may have lost or hadn't watched wrestling in a long time. And we put everything into that show. Well, since Russo and Ferrara left, which is almost 26 years ago,
wow,
there's always been a history. They do a great number the day after WrestleMania because everybody wants to see the fallout from WrestleMania. But then the week following, they're right back to where they started. So, Tommy, this week, they drew a big number the day after WrestleMania. The week after WrestleMania, they lost 500,000 viewers on Netflix. 500,000 viewers. And, Tommy, the following week on USA Network, they were down to 1.4 million people. Okay? Now, Tommy, here's my pet peeve, and this is what drives me nuts. Every time a rating, whether it's Netflix, whether it's USA Network, whether it's AEW, whether it's TBS, whether it's TNT, here's what we get, Tommy. I'm going to play you a couple examples so people don't think I'm lying. So here's what you get when there's a bad wrestling rating. I'm going to give you two examples, Tommy. Here's example number one. You ready, Tommy?
Mm-hmm.
Here's example number one.
No yeet.
No, not that one. It's not no yeet. Here's example number one. Here, listen, Tommy.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did a big number as well.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did a big number. Tommy, listen to this one. Tommy, listen to this one.
And the only other thing that beat him was a Hallmark movie.
Tommy, a Hallmark movie. Tommy, can you imagine a young Vince Russo going to Vince McMahon after the WWE rating crapped the bed and told Vince McMahon, Can you imagine?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did a big number.
Can you imagine if I told Vince McMahon, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Tell me, here's my pet peeve. Every time it's a bad number, we get a laundry list of the competition. Tommy, like when you and I were working there was nothing on the other channels when Raw aired. There was no NFL, there was no NBA playoffs, there was nothing on. There was no competition during the Attitude Era. Tommy, I'll never forget these words Vince McMahon said to me from day one. Day one, Tommy, if it's good, they'll watch it. Vince did not care what the competition was. He did not care what was on the other channels. If it's good, they'll watch it. Today, Tommy, every time you get a crappy number, that's the first thing you hear. What was on TV that night? I am sick of that, Tommy.
Well, it's just an out. It's an out, right, Vince? I mean, we never had outs with Vince, and you faced him probably 1,000 times more than I ever did. I was part of production. We have to face Kevin and say, hey, we got to make the packages better. Something didn't work right here or something didn't work right there. But you had to face the man himself who said there's no competition when it comes to my product. Today, it's an out. It's an out for everybody. Oh, we had this on. Oh, it was the Knicks Celtics or it was this, that. No. You right to have the best show every week. And by the way, Monday's Raw, the go home to Backlash was friggin' horrible. It was terrible. I don't know what advanced in any storylines at all. And the card, and we'll talk about the card a little later on here, is just, I mean, Backlash. And I mean, who's coming to see that? Besides Cena, Orton, what else do you want to see? You really want to see McAfee go against Gunther, who's going to get destroyed, which probably will lead to another angle somewhere. I don't get the whole booking part of this whole Gunther Pat McAfee thing. I said that on our show also. I don't get it. I don't give McAfee a snowball chance at all. He's a unicorn, great athlete. But do you know what Gunther is? He's a killer, dude. He is a killer.
Tommy, do you know what word on the street is? You know how that match is supposed to end from what I hear. Now, guys, again, I'm not the guy that's calling sources and this and no, bro. I'm way too busy for that. But I've heard some rumbling that they're going to use Goldberg at the end of that match, and that's going to lead to Gunther and Goldberg. That's I'm hearing some rumblings about that.
You're probably right, because months ago, remember Gunther called out his kid and him, and who cares? Who cares? Do I care about Goldberg coming back and having one more match? And what does that make the roster feel like? You got all these young guys on here, up and comers, some guys really good, some not, some working on it, and you're going back to Goldberg for probably SummerSlam? Ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Tommy.
Weak creative writing, as we say.
I am done with the freaking excuses. If it's good, they'll watch it, and they're not going to change the channel, period, end of story. Guys, super stickers, donations, we'll get to them in a bunch. I just want to roll through some topics here with the great Tommy C. Producer man, what are we talking about first, bro? We are talking about Backlash. And my God, it is this Saturday already. Whoopee do, as they would say in the neighborhood. Tommy, I swear to God, I watch these shows every week. Let me see if I could tell you what's on the card. Obviously I know it's Cena and Orton because producer man just put the photo up. So I know it's that. I know it's Gunther, Tommy, and McAfee because you just smartened me up to that. Okay, that's 2 matches. Oh my God, Tommy!
I know.
I'm assuming one of the women's title. Is it Becky Lynch and Velcro?
Yes.
Hey, all right, history, Tommy. I got a third one. Vira Velcro, and Becky Lynch. How many more, Tommy? Can you name any more?
I think Dirty Dom's on the card.
Dirty Diamond Penta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah.
I got that.
Okay. Is there anything else, Tommy?
Is there
It's got to be some kind of tag team match.
Is there a tag team match? I hope producer man helps us out because I'm. Oh,
is this
fatal
a
four-way?
Fatal four-way.
Like we haven't had enough of those.
Bro, I swear to God, I don't even know who the dude in the glass is. Oh, that's LA Knight. Okay, it's LA Knight, Fatu, Damien. First of all, Tommy, who's ever drawing these things needs to be fired immediately, bro. That looks like Damian Priest. That looks like LA Knight, Tommy.
No.
Seriously, I could tell Fatu and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I could not tell that's Damian Priest and LA Knight. Okay, so that's it, Tommy. We got 4 match. Tommy, what happened to the 10, 11, 12 matches on the pay-per-view, Tommy? What happened to that?
They don't do that anymore. They do 5, 6 tops, and that's it. And they'll all be a half hour each or whatever the case may be. But I got to tell you, man, it's not a strong card at all.
Tommy, what's going to be longer, the matches, or the entrances? What will be longer? Make a prediction, Tommy. Go ahead. I'm putting you on the spot, Tommy.
I'm telling you, the entrances are going to be longer.
Yeah, wow, that's a bold statement. Here's the part to me, guys, that I think is absolutely ridiculous, and this is where there is no creative, there is no thought. The check is already cashed. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter that you got a Cena heel turn that you pull out your rear end, 25 years in the making, Tommy. So now we don't have an opponent for him because there's no story whatsoever. The majority of the audience still has no idea why Cena turned heel. We still don't know. So what do, Tommy? We'll book him against Orton because Orton's from St. Louis. Okay, so you want me to believe you're going to turn Cena heel after 25 years, and then what? You're going to put the belt on Orton 3 weeks later, Tommy? Is that what they want us to believe?
Well, I don't believe that one iota. Coming and boy, Orton has turned into the biggest baby face of all time, huh? I mean, he's trying to teach Cena some things when they had their little conflict going on for a little bit, which is a little surprising to me. I think Cena's going to continue to have this reign. Again, storyline, it's the history of them. That's it. There's nothing else going on with these guys because nobody does storylines anymore. Vince, am I right or wrong?
Oh, you are absolutely right, Tommy. And I do want to say this, so everybody, you're negative, you're this and that. No, bro, I want to say this. They are so lucky they've got Cena in this spot because Cena knows there's no, this is what I always say, Tommy, there's no meat on the bone. Cena knows there's no meat on the bone. And what we used to call it, guys, in the wrestling business is you try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Thank God, Tommy, they got the best guy in the world doing that because Cena is doing everything in his power to be a heel when the reality of the situation is there's still no reason for him to be a heel.
It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And, for 2 weeks, the whole idea of him blaming the crowd. I mean, okay, enough's enough with that. But you know what? It was left in his hands. Who left it in his hands? We all know who left it in his hands, right? Who never showed up at WrestleMania. And I really want to wonder what really Cena thinks about that. How he got left and he got, I guess, it was a little embarrassing having Travis Scott come out. More embarrassing for Cody Rhodes that Travis Scott came out, that he didn't rip his head off and did nothing at all. It just made Cody look really bad. And they had Travis Scott come out on the biggest night of the year, WrestleMania, and there was no final boss.
Right.
Enough said on that. And I really would like to know what Cena really thinks about that.
And Tommy, not only that, when you talk about, Travis Scott and the spot with Cody Rhodes, to add insult to injury, we haven't heard from Cody Rhodes in 3 weeks.
Nope.
Tommy, I see, this is where like you and I know the business and we know that a lot of things are done by design. Triple H is not an idiot. If you do not comprehend that the longer we hear from Cody, the more you're burying Cody, that's why I tend to believe, Tommy, all this stuff is done by design. Can you imagine, bro, 150-pound rapper costing Austin his world title, and then
Never.
Austin is MIA for the next 3 weeks? Can you imagine? In what universe would that happen, Tommy?
Never happened. Never happened. Not the way his character was, and he wouldn't let it happen. He would put a stop to it right away. That's why not hearing from Cody, it's the same thing. They do this all the time. Cody's been around 2 years. He's been working his butt off. Oh, he needs some time out. But you know what? How about putting something out on social media, even if you don't appear on the show? Hey, guys, I'm doing well. You'll see me soon. And then you kind of expect, okay, what's next from Cody? I'd rather hear that than dead silence. And
I agree.
Right?
I agree, Tommy, 1,000%. I agree with you 1,000%. All right, let's let you know what we'll do, producer man. We'll go to a couple super stickers before each topic. How about that? So let's go to a couple super stickers now. I know people got questions. The Coach and Four Show. Yeah, thank you very much. Awesome sauce.
Yeah.
What else we got, Nels? Producer man. Hey guys. WWE, bring back the brand split pay-per-views and 12 pay-per-views a year schedule like a Raw pay-per-view and SmackDown pay-per-view because the PLEs suck. Michael Gavin, Ali Show, I'll be honest with you. Bro, they are trying to serve so many masters, Tommy, with so many shows, Evolution, NXT, the other ones, Lions, Tigers, Bears, and whatever. They got that one. There's no way, Michael, there is no way they could fulfill a schedule like that. They are trying to please way too many masters. There is way too much product out there right now, Tommy.
Yeah, way too much product and working TV production people to death, man. I've seen a couple people recently, and man, the hours they're working, the camera guys just doing every shoot and everything, and they just keep wringing that dollar out and just working that production staff to the nth degree. Those guys build the packages. They tell the stories of so-called storylines. Obviously, the packages look better than the matches because that's what they do, right? So that's the problem. These guys are really getting overworked, and there's no way this is going to happen. No way.
Tommy, you know, a lot of people don't understand that, and I'm glad you bring that up because, you know, I always say, bro, this is my biggest pet peeve. At the end of every Raw, there are two names that get recognition. It drives me crazy. Tommy, I got a surprise phone call this week. I got a surprise phone call from the great David Zahadi.
Really?
Yes, I did. Me and David had a great talk. But the reason I bring him up, Tommy, is, Tommy, people don't understand the time that goes into those packages.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through the time spent on literally a 2 to 3 minute package?
Oh, it's unlimited hour and a couple of weeks because you're going from week to week to week, but you got to find the right music, the audio. You got to have a PA pick some great shots, and you as the producer have to match it and make sure it all makes sense because you're telling a story. That takes hours upon hours. I'll just give you an idea of a promo which David Sahadi worked in. A 2-minute promo, a 30-second promo takes about 8 hours worth of work.
Yep.
Now, if you started early, it could take a little shorter, but to edit this thing takes about 8 hours. People think you do it in 30 seconds. No, there is so much more involved of editing, producing, audio, effects, music, and it all has to make sense. Hours upon hours. These guys work unlimited hours. The TV production staff at WWE is second to none, led by Adam Panucci. He's been there 1,000 years, one of the top producers of all time. He got named in the Hall of Fame speech saying that little redheaded kid did all the packages. Steve Austin put him over like $1 million. Very humble, but very talented. Very talented. And he's got people under him just as talented, and they work their butts off.
Yes.
Hours upon hours.
And me and Tommy love talking about that because, guys, you take that for granted. You take that there is no Hall of Fame for the Tommy Carlucci's and the Adam Panucci's and the Kevin Dunns. There is no Hall of Fame.
No.
Bro, if you knew the grunt work and the hours, I know, Tommy, I don't know if you know this or not. My son put packages together at TNA. So like I know what goes into it,
Yep.
and you guys have absolutely no idea.
Yep.
Producer man, do we have another super sticker before we get to the next topic? UFC 315 is not sold out yet. Will Ari Emanuel give The Rock a goal again? Well, we got comedians in the room, Tommy. Tyler beat a comedian. What do you think about that, Tommy?
Yeah, he's throwing a shot, but it's a great shot because I brought that up and I got quoted on it on Sportskeeda. I have nothing against Triple H or anything, but I would wonder if I'm Triple H, why is Ari calling this guy up? Because Elimination Chamber's ticket sales are low. He's not the head of creative content. Makes you go, what's going on, fellas?
Tommy, how about if they tried lowering the prices? You think that might help ticket sales? Tommy, do you know? Tommy, you would love this, man. You would love this. Tommy, of course, I'm in Colorado. And of course, we got the lowly Rockies. I think the Rockies have won 6 games this year. Tommy, do you know I go to any Rocky game, I flip my senior citizen card, Tommy, $1. $1, Tommy, any day of the week, any game, $1, Tommy.
$1 to get in?
$1 to get in and watch Major League Baseball.
Oh, man, that's phenomenal.
And these jabrones are getting $40,000 for SummerSlam. And here's what I hear is going to headline SummerSlam. Tommy, you ready for this? You might smack down the $40,000 for this, Tommy. I hear, Tommy, it is going to be Cena and Travis Scott against Cody and Bad Bunny.
Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm hearing. Tommy, that's what I'm hearing. That is what I'm hearing. Okay? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get to we got videotape, I think, a producer, man, because I got to tell you, man, people think I'm an anti-Hogan guy because I cut a fake, made-up, fictional promo on the guy 25 years ago at Bash of the Peach. People think I hate Hulk Hogan. I don't hate Hulk Hogan at all. And as a matter of fact, these comments by Becky Lynch really bothered me a little. So, producer man, let's play this, and then Tommy and I will comment on it. Okay, so let's be fair. Becky is definitely in character there. You know, there's no question about it. But she still when she's talking about the scummiest player in the game, she's talking about Hulk Hogan. Tommy, I got to tell you, I was just having this conversation with Al Snow this morning. There is one thing that really bothers me about the wrestling business. Tommy, you will see this once in a while in professional sports. Once in a while, bro, in professional sports, there'll be 2 players that don't like each other, but before it goes very far, the league's going to put the kibosh on it. The league is going to put the gag order on those players, and it's not going to go anywhere. Tommy, one of the things that sickens me about our industry is every time I see a YouTube video, so-and-so shoots on so-and-so. I have never, ever in my life seen an industry where the people in the industry just bury each other. Co-workers, people they used to work with, bury each other non-stop. Now, Becky Lynch is sitting there burying Hulk Hogan, who I guarantee you, number one, she has no idea who Hulk Hogan is. Never worked with Hulk Hogan, never been around Hulk Hogan. Now, granted, Becky has been in some pressure spots. Tommy, Do you know the pressure that was on Hulk Hogan's shoulders during the day, during the time when he was carrying that company for a decade with a giant bullseye on his back? Everybody wanted Hulk's spot. Do you know what kind of pressure comes with that? I really have a hard time, Tommy, when especially the younger generation takes a shot at the older generation. That really rubs me the wrong way, Tommy.
Let's face it. If there was no Hulk Hogan, you wouldn't see Becky right there.
You wouldn't see us. You wouldn't see us if there wasn't a Hulk Hogan.
I started with the company of January 11th, 1988. We went through the whole Hulk Hogan thing. Him and Vince carried the company for years, put it across the United States, which never happened before because there was little territories doing things. Vince took a shot, made him run with Hogan. She's never had that kind of heat in her life. She came into glory when she came into WWE. They were already a $1 billion business or a multi-million dollar. She's never had that heat in her life. She's just fanning the flames here. It's a social media thing. She's in character. She's throwing heat at Hogan, expecting Hogan to bite back and to try to create something here. That's all she's doing right there. But she's never had the pressure of carrying the company like this guy did back in 1988.
Yeah, and listen, man, you could say what. Listen, here's what I think Hogan's biggest problem is, and bro, I'll be honest with you, I think Flair has the same problem. These are two guys with probably the greatest careers and the greatest legacies of anybody in the business. But what happens is there comes a point when they can't let it go. And as they get older and some of the things they do and they say, it tends to tarnish that legacy. But Tommy, you can never forget. And let me tell you something, man. People that worked with him have never forgotten. Hulk Hogan made a lot of people millionaires, Tommy, because when he was making money on top, everybody else on that card was benefiting. So you could say whatever you want about Hulk and this don't work for me, brother, and this, that, and the other thing. You can never, ever take away what this guy did for the industry.
Do you think that would happen with Becky? She's on the card and we're all going to make money? No.
Yeah.
No, not even close. So for her to say she's put the same way of calling him a scumbag, come on, really? Yeah. You're not even close to what Hogan did in this industry. Not even close.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, she is being in character, but
yes.
You know, bro, when you're in a business, you know when somebody is, oh, I was in character. Tommy, listen, I created a character for the WWE magazine called Vic Venom. And Vic Venom was how Vince Russo really felt. So when Bruce Pritchard would come to me and say, Vince, how could you say this and how could you say that? I'd say, Bruce, Vic Venom's a fictional character. Are you out of your freaking what? You believe that, Bruce? Bruce, it's a character. No, bro, that's how I really felt.
Yeah.
So Becky's in character, but when she's making that comment about Hulk Hogan, that's how she really feels about Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's just heat seeking. It's just putting stuff out there on social media. She hasn't been relevant in a couple of years. She goes on this interview. She knows a lot of people watch it. She's going to throw it out there and see if he takes the bait. That's the big thing. Because if he responds, which I don't think he will, or he did so far, then she knows she's got it.
Yeah, I agree, Tommy, 100%. Okay, before we get to the last topic, producer man, let's go. Any fun stories of you working together in the 90s? Well, I talk about this all the time, bro. Bro, seeing a young, svelte, good-looking, movie star looks, athletic Tommy Carlucci standing on that pitcher's mound, the breeze flowing through that thick black hair, the look on his face every time a batter stepped into the box. I will never, ever forget that as long as I live. Our fearless leader, Tommy Carlucci.
Thank you. Or Tony. Maybe Tony was there.
Yeah, I can remember this, man. I can remember Tommy, but man, guys, this is everybody in freaking production. Just Tommy always running around like a chicken without a head, man. Nonstop.
Yeah, we did it. We were dedicated, dude. We laid our life on the line for this company, man. And that was our work ethic. We didn't know when to stop, because if you got the man on top working that hard and the guy who I worked for, Kevin, working that hard, then you got to work just as hard.
Yeah.
Because you ain't going to go nowhere in this company. And I started from the very bottom and made it to senior director. I started out in shipping in 1988, made it to senior director in 2020. So I climbed that ladder and I knew where I had to go. I went on the road for 6 years from 96 to 02. Did I love it? No, but I knew where I wanted to go in the company. But the thing is, they gave you the opportunity to work that hard.
Yeah.
And there's some guys there just happy being producers and not traveling from 9 to 5 or whatever they got to do. There's a lot of guys like that. I wasn't one of those guys.
Yeah. And it just cracks me up, man, because Tommy, let's face it, man, we got a lot of our work ethic, me from Vince, you from Kevin Dunn.
Yes.
It cracks me up today when I hear them all say about what a better environment it is backstage with Triple H, and it's more relaxed and this and that. It's a job, bro. It ain't a country club. You're not supposed to be relaxed. You're supposed to be in fear of losing your job if you don't give it your all or if you F up, Tommy. But like you said, Tommy, no matter how early I came in or how late I left, Vince's car was always there. So I knew I was always on my toes, walking on eggshells, because I knew I had to deliver. You're not working for a country club, Tommy.
Nope. I want to tell you, I got a minute for a quick story for me.
Absolutely.
So I was working the Slammies, right? And Pettingill was hosting, and I had the rundown. So it was Vince and Jerry the King Lawler. They were doing the commentary there as he was the host. So they go to this package, and I think it's the end of the show. So I release Vince and King. All right, you guys are done. Boom. Vince didn't care. He walks away. Kevin says to me, we're 2 minutes away. He goes, we're coming back to Vince and Jerry for the close.
I can't wait to hear this one, Tommy. Go ahead.
Kev, I just released him. Wow. What the parade of language. He goes, okay, you know what I want to do? This is what I'm doing. I'll string it out a little longer, but you know what? You're going to Vince's office. You're going there with King, and you're going to tell him that you fucked up.
Oh,
and please, can you come back? You know what? Vince was really gracious about it. He came. I thought he was going to kill me. King, they came back and did it. After the show, I get this. Hey, Tommy, come to the TV truck. And I got, do you not see the rundown? You got one job to do, blah, blah. I took it. I was wrong. And I apologized to Vince and King. And that was the end of the story.
And you never did it again.
No, never. Ever. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's a job, Tommy. That's a job. That's what's expected of you. Not we're gonna. It's a country club. Triple L. I'm gonna point next to. I'm gonna stand next to the boys. He's gonna freaking point at me.
No.
Get the freak out of here. You ever see a picture of Vince McMahon pointing at somebody? Like what is that, Tommy?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. Let's go to some super stickers before we go to the last topic. Awesome Sauce, what's up, my friend? Why do wrestlers mention Hulk when he's never on TV and has zero to do with the product that's doing horrible ratings? It's like OCD. By the way, it's free press for him. Absolutely. You know why, Awesome Sauce? Because whether they love him or hate him, he's freaking Babe Ruth. Yep. Period. You can't help but to talk about him. This business would have took a whole different look had it not been for Hulk Hogan, regardless of what he's done personally and what he has said. And that's why, I mean, Tommy, he's the Babe Ruth of pro wrestling.
There's no doubt about it. Without him, Vince's marketing and giving him the persona that he gave him and Hulk carrying it out, we would not be where we are today with this company. I don't care who you talk to about it. Never, ever, ever would ever happen. Never.
Yeah. Guys, again, please, super stickers, donations. We will bring you right up and read it. Awesome Sauce once again. The irony of Becky calling Hogan the worst person ever when she worked for Vince, who settled on the Rita Chatterton stuff and wrestled in front of Saudi. Yeah, I mean, I hear where you're coming from, Awesome Sauce. And especially, like, come on, bro, the odds of Becky personally knowing Hulk are about 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain she does not know the guy on a personal level. So what are you going by? You're going by hearsay. You're going by gossip. You're going by rumors. You're going by the narrative that others have written about him. That's what you're going on, Tommy.
Was Awesome Sauce referring to Saudi, that it was a bad deal for Vince? I didn't get
Just yeah.
Do you see where everybody is with Saudi? Everybody goes to Saudi now.
Yeah.
He owns everything. I worked the fight this past weekend. I floor managed the fight in Times Square. His Excellency was there. He owns Ring Magazine, right? He paid for this whole thing. He owns every boxer, every rapper, every musician. So it's not Vince made the deal that opened this all up, guys.
Yeah.
If you really want to know.
There are people, Tommy, that think that TKO, that they are setting this company up in such a way that it's going to be sold to the Saudis.
Really?
That's yeah.
That'll be a big dollar too, boy.
Oh God. That's what they're saying. They're saying with what this company is worth, they're going to be the only ones that would be able to afford to buy it.
Wow. I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this. Alec Halleman. What's next? Will Smith storming into the ring and slapping Cody? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? If Cody's not going to do anything about it, why not?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Tyler B., how do you have the greatest luchador, El Grande Americano, how do you not have on Raw for Cinco de Mayo? Wow, Tyler, that is a great, great, great point. See, Tommy, I think part of the problem is Triple H, I think, right now is involved in political warfare. I really believe that. I believe there's a Triple H camp, and I believe there's a Rock camp. And I believe Triple H is consumed with trying to keep his spot, because that happens a lot in wrestling. But Tommy, you can't be consumed with trying to keep your spot and be head of creative at the same time.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So while Triple H is playing whatever chess game he's playing with The Rock, he's letting the creative get away from him. That's why you just brought up a great point. It is a no-brainer. Cinco de Mayo, El Grande Americano, that is a no-brainer. They didn't even see that, Tommy.
Nope, they didn't see it. And let's face it, look where Ari went for Elimination Chamber. Enough said.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did he go to?
Yep, exactly. I have not met the South Park guys. You want to know something, though? 4-5R, 5K, two things. Tommy, I don't even know if you know this. Tommy, there was a book that came out many, many, many years ago. It was called Showrunners. And it was about these famous showrunners who ran some of the most popular, well-known shows. And I'll never forget this, bro, because it came out, right around during the Attitude Era and whatnot. And Stone and Parker of South Park put over the Attitude Era huge.
Wow.
They were watching the Attitude Era. And South Park came out in 99. So this was like right after South Park came out. Matt Stone and Trey Parker put over the Attitude Era. That always meant so much to me. And Tommy, listen to this, Tommy. In Colorado, there is a South Park. I've been to South Park in Colorado, Tommy.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe about 2 hours away from me, but my wife and I took a ride there. Very, very nice. Let's go to the last topic. All right, let's do this, then we'll go to the last topic, then we'll finish up with super stickers. Would you guys rather get the Triple H point of death or a nice warm hug by yours truly, which means Tony Khan? What would you rather get, the finger point of death from Triple H or a nice warm hug like this by Tony Khan?
I'll take the hug.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I would love, guys, I swear to God, you think I'm being sarcastic. I am not. I would mark out for a Tony Khan hug. If I met Tony Khan and he embraced me, Tommy, and took me into his bosom, I would pop. I would pop huge. That is the truth. Let's go to the last topic, producer man, as we roll right along, me and Tommy. Joe Henry defends his TNA title at NXT Battleground. What do you think about this, Tommy?
I like this integration between TNA and NXT. Obviously, this wouldn't happen back in the day when we were there, but I think it's a great idea. It exposes talent to different fans that you don't see the home crowd all the time. Like Henry coming to NXT is phenomenal, and it puts him over, and he's going against, I think, Trick Williams, which puts Trick over also. I like the integration between TNA and WWE. I think it's a great idea. It should be more often. I think Henry got to be in WrestleMania, right? There's some guys still on the roster that's never done one WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I think Henry is a potential big-time star coming up, and I think Trick Williams has a lot of potential himself. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, Tommy, I agree with you 1,000%. And that's why, I was asking the question, man, with these people the WWE just let go, why didn't they just ship them over to TNA?
Yep.
I think that would have been great. I would like to see more of that, but I agree with Tommy, guys, I want to see TNA get the rub. And TNA got a huge rub at WrestleMania. Bro, Orton could have squashed Joe Henry in 5 seconds, and TNA would have got a great rub at WrestleMania. So, I'm with Tommy. I agree with that 1,000%. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up the show with super stickers. So now is the time you can ask us anything. Let's see. Nonsense McGee. Travis Scott, WWE champion at Mania 42. Hey, Tommy, I don't doubt anything at this point.
Oh, my God. If that happened, Vince, I would be tapping out.
Really?
I'm done. I am done. If that happens, I am done. And if he beats Cody to boot, imagine that.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I'm going to say this for the record. I was there when David Arquette won the WCW title, and I can confidently say I think David Arquette could beat Travis Scott. Tommy, what about that?
Yeah, that's a layup. What did you think of that when they were going to make him champ?
Tommy, you know what that was? I'll tell you the story real quick. Tommy, I was the head of creative. That was me. Yeah. So I'll tell you what happened. See, Tommy, it was a tag match, and the title was on the line. And the tag match was, I think it was Jarrett and Bischoff against Page and Arquette, right? So we have the production meeting, Tommy, and I believe Page was going over, right? So we have the production meeting. Page is going over. The meeting's over. Everybody clears out. Tony Schiavone comes up to me. Vince, can I run something by you? Tony, sure. And he says, what if David Arquette won the world title? And I swear to God, Tommy, you know how crazy I was and how outside of the box I always thought. I didn't even think of that. That thought never crossed my mind. And I said, Tony, you know what? If that thought never crossed my mind, nobody in a million years would ever believe that.
That's right.
And it was kind of the perfect storm, Tommy, because Eric was in there. So it's not like he had to pin a wrestler. If he beat Eric Bischoff, he was going to win the title. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I called everybody back in the room, laid it out. Everybody went for it. And at the time, we really, really, Tommy, needed a publicity stunt on the cover of the USA Today
Yeah.
the very next day. So I tell people this all the time. I still get hammered for it. I still get raked over the coals for it. I would still do the same thing tomorrow.
That's Shivani, man, of all people.
Yeah,
I'm good
yeah.
friends with Tony. I've
I
been
love
friends
Tony.
with him.
Yeah, I love
He-
Tony.
He's the best in the business.
Yeah,
True
and
friend.
yeah, and I want to say this. I make sure I say this all the time, Tommy. I don't tell that story to throw him under the bus.
No.
I tell that story to put him over.
Put him over.
Because even me, I was like, I never even thought about that. And then, Tommy, what people fail to understand is, so after he pins Bischoff, now the story was you had a Hollywood actor with a title that had no business, and that was the story. Like David Arquette wanted nothing to do. Yeah, but people forget that part. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's enough of that. All right, what else do we have? Tyler B. Which do you think is more chaotic? Present day WWE backstage or the 1999 WWE Super Bowl commercial? Tommy, I'm sure you had a hand in that.
Yeah, the Super Bowl commercial they shot in the corporate office over there.
Yeah.
Sahadi led that whole deal.
Of course.
He created it. He came up with the idea because he was awesome. I mean, he was the one that came when they had the World Wildlife Fund and they lost. He came up with the Logan, get the F out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I remember being in a meeting with that with Kevin, him, and all the production staff, and Sahadi was just a genius back in the day. Yeah, we all had a hand in it, working it, whether we were there helping out, doing that. I remember it very well. It took a long time to shoot that thing. They had a lot of crazy stuff going on, but it was fun and it was a great commercial.
Yeah, and I remember it very well, Tommy, because I do remember this. I remember at the time, it was such a hefty price tag.
Yeah.
I think at that time, Tommy, I think it was $1 million for the spot.
And Vince wanted it.
Yeah, he wanted it, but he also, that's what Vince was all about, man, rolling the dice. I mean, can you imagine a wrestling company paying $1 million to have a commercial on during the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Yeah, unbelievable. What next do we have, producer man? Let's see. $2 from Amanda. Thank you very much, Amanda. Very, very much appreciated. Another Amanda. Are we ready to admit, as wrestling fans, that Triple H has made the most successful traveling karaoke show in human history? Yeah, he has. She's talking about the sing-along fans. Tommy C.
I'm done with it.
Tommy C. Yeah, Tommy, you and me both, man. Tommy, I swear to God, to me, the entrances are cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Cringe. I can't take it, Tommy. I can't take it. Who else? Let's see. Amanda, thank you very, very much. Demons Row. What do you think about Cena playing an angry heel? He's a rich movie star. It doesn't make sense. Shouldn't he be smiling and making fun of poor people? How would you book him? Well, I'll be honest with you, Demon, and then I'll get Tommy's 2 cents. I would have never booked him that way in the first place. If I was going to book him heel, I would have had him, Tommy, turn heel during the match. That's how I would have booked him heel. Something happens in the match where he's got to do something wrong in order to win the title, and he does it. That's how I would have booked him. Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with that totally because he's sick and tired of being Mr. Right all the time. I'm abiding by the rules, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And that could be his bitch and moan. I did it for 25 years. Now I'm not doing it anymore. I'm playing by John Cena's rules now. And if you don't like it, tough.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been. And, instead of taking it out on the crowd for 25 years.
Yeah.
But
Tommy, you know what that is too, man? That is another great one missed. And Tommy, I must bring this up like at least once a week. Pat Patterson, man. Pat Patterson would have laid out a match having Cena turn heel during the match. That would have been an absolute masterpiece.
Was there anybody better than him?
No.
My
No.
God.
Unbelievable. And you know what, Tommy? I say the same thing too, man, because I review the Attitude Show on Russo's brand. Bro, JR getting those freaking stories over. There was such an art to it. And I listen to JR every 2 weeks. My stories would have meant nothing without JR narrating those stories.
Yeah, he was a walking soundbite. I mean, he loved it. He knew it. He knew the packages were coming out. He knew how to lay the VO down because we would pull that verbiage from him saying this, and then you put it in the package. It's money, and he knew it, and he knew how to do it very well.
Tommy, I just rewatched what I thought was one of the greatest things I ever saw JR do. I don't think JR would agree with this because JR has had a million calls, okay? Remember, and this was quasi-shoot. Remember when JR had the second bout with Bell's palsy?
Yes.
And he wanted to come back, but a lot of us didn't feel he was ready to come back. And I don't think JR really understood we were trying to protect him. We really, really were. We just wanted him to get a little bit more well, but he really wanted to come back. So we kind of wove that into the storyline. And, you know, Michael Cole and the King are out there. JR wants to come back, and they weren't letting him come back. Yeah. Do you remember when he had his own announce desk built ringside?
Yes.
And he built his own desk right in front of Lawler and Michael Cole. Yes. And, bro, he delivered this line. I about peed my pants, bro. He said to Michael Cole, King, do you want to sit up here with the A-team or do you want to sit back there with the boy? Oh, bro. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, man.
That was a
JR. Oh, JR was so freaking good. Papa Rain. Cody turning heel after being booed by the fans in MSG would have made more sense than Cena turning heel, annoying that Cody allegedly didn't want to turn. Yeah, Papa, who knows, man? I don't know if that was the case. I don't know if maybe Triple H didn't want him to turn. But here's the problem, Tommy, in a nutshell. Here's the problem. And here's why I think there are such mixed feelings about this. They never explained it to us, man. No. They never. So to a lot of us, it didn't make any sense because they never made an effort to explain it all to us.
Nope, not at all. And you wouldn't have Cody turn heel at a house show either.
Yeah.
It would be a TV.
Yeah. Any other last minute super stickers or donations, we will be happy to add them. Produce man, is that it? Okay, looks like it. Tommy, if there is one, we'll throw it up here. But Tommy, I know you do a lot of other shows. I knew you do some great shows with Coach Wick. Hit everybody listen to the great Tommy C and follow him.
Every Monday night, right after Raw, I call The Last Word. It's myself, Coach, and Gabby, and her other guy, Raphael, in there sometimes. We have fun talking. We just shoot things around. And if you want me on social media, I am BTT_Tommy C on Instagram and on X. So if you got any comments, I would love to hear them. And thank you again, Vince, for having me.
I love Tommy C. It is always an honor and a privilege to know Tommy for all these years. Guys, also for me, if you've never experienced Russo's brand, I offer you a free week. I put my money where my mouth is. Try us, you'll like us. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC and get your free week. That is it, everybody. We'll see Coach next week. For me, Tommy C, producer man, thanks for joining us, man. We greatly appreciate it.